Hey, this is Ryan with One Board Family, and welcome to our 2020 Top 10 Rundown. Now, 2020 has been a trying year, and everybody knows that. Many of us have lost our gaming groups. We haven't had people to game with as often, but in 2020, there were so many fantastic games that paring this down to just 10 was really, really hard. I was originally going to give you about 10 that fell just outside, almost honorable mentions, but I feel like that's just a top 20 list, honestly. So I'm going to give you 3 that we start off with giving some honorable mention because these games were fantastic family games that our family enjoyed this year. So here is my 3 that fell just outside my top 10. First of all, Jurassic Parts from 25th Century Games. This is such a great area control game. The final version of this, when it came off of Kickstarter and fulfilled, everything about it is so top notch, from the components to just the way the dinosaur bones look on the tiles. This is a great area control game that you definitely need to check out, and it deserves an honorable mention. This is one that fell just outside of that top 10. We've got U's and Q's from the Op. This one, we played so much U's and Q's this year. Scott Brady designed this game, and this game has been such a lifesaver for us, whether it was family get-togethers that were very, very small in 2020, or playing online through Zoom with family members that we couldn't see. U's and Q's was our go-to party game, even though we couldn't actually have parties this year. So U's and Q's, if you're looking for a great party game, this one's fantastic, from Scott Brady and the Op. And then last in my top 3 honorable mention, this is Meeple Land from Blue Orange Games. I am a huge fan of the building a theme park type of setup, and Meeple Land just hits right at home. It's not too heavy, not too light. It's a tile laying game, and there's enough hard decisions to engage adults and kids. So Meeple Land fell right outside of my top 10, but I wanted to make sure that I recognize how good of a family game this is. Meeple Land is one that you definitely need to check out if you haven't already. So now that we've gotten through those honorable mentions, why don't we jump right in to our top 10 of 2020. Number 10. All right, at number 10 is a deduction game that I absolutely fell in love with. I'm more of a deduction game fan. My wife, Erin, is not so much, but this is one that we both really, really enjoyed. This is Search for Planet X. This is from Foxtrot Games and Renegade Game Studio. This is a deduction game where players are searching for Planet X. It is, you have this large circular map that you're basically putting your observatories around, and each thing that you do, whether you search or whether you write a research paper or whatever you do, takes a certain amount of time. And what I love about this game is that there are logic rules that this game follows. There are logic rules that the game has created, but then there's also logic rules that are fed to you through a mobile device. This is a really good integration for both mobile and analog gaming. What's cool is you can either do a pass and play where you put the code in for your specific game into one phone and you can pass it around, or everybody puts the code in on their own phone and they're getting their own individual information. And I love that about the game. They've done a very good job with the app. They did a great job making sure that you're fully engaged and you're always watching and listening, because as people ask questions of the app, they're going to say, I wonder if there's an asteroid in sectors 6 through 8. And the app is going to give them the information, but you have to be listening and wondering, why did they ask that information? Are they throwing me off? Search for Planet X, ultimately you're trying to find Planet X because there are logic rules behind where Planet X is in the solar system, but you can also win through publishing research papers, finding different pieces of the puzzle, and getting points throughout the game. Search for Planet X is a deduction game that really surprised me, and it's a deduction game that I see myself playing for years to come. This is an excellent game, and if you're a little weary of how an app can integrate with the game, this one does it very, very well, similar to something like Chronicles of Crime, which is one of my favorites. Such great integration. The Search for Planet X, Renegade Game Studios, and Foxtrot Games. This one was number 10 in our top 10 of 2020.
Number 9.
Next up, sitting at number 9, is one of our favorite party games of this year, MonsDRAWsity. This one's from Deepwater Games. Eric Slauson is the designer of this one. This is a beautiful game that requires players to draw what a witness has seen. So there's going to be a sole witness each round, and the witness is going to look at a card for 20 seconds, and then they're going to have 2 minutes to describe that monster in as best detail as they can. Players are going to be able to ask some questions and try to get information about what the eyes look like and how many feet, what was the shape of the monster. MonsDRAWsity is, while it is a drawing game, MonsDRAWsity really sucks people in because they're all engaging around this description that somebody's giving. And it's so fun to hear not only kids describe the monster, but also older people describe the monster. If you're looking for a game that's going to bring together generations around the game table, which is what we talk about at One Board Family, MonsDRAWsity is that game. Eric Slauson has done a great job of creating party games that engage people and get people laughing and having fun. And MonsDRAWsity does that. You're going to look at the creations that come off of people's drawings and just laugh. This is a really fun game. I have never cared if I won or lost at this game because MonsDRAWsity is such a fun game and such a fun time with family and friends. Even when we've had to do social distancing this year, we've been able to play this in a friend's garage. We've been able to play this online with just whiteboards. The cards and the creatures in this game are absolutely ridiculous. And just recently, Deepwater Games has announced that they're going to be supporting this through 2021 with different character packs. So while there's 100 cards in this box, there's also a character expansion called Cute Monsters, I believe, that is available right now, and then also tons of expansions through 2021. This game is going to continue to hit the table over and over and over as we have more monsters to draw with our family and with our friends. MonsDRAWsity is number 9.
Number 8.
My number 8 game is a pretty big one. This one is Tang Garden from Thundergriff Games and also published by Lucky Duck Games. Tang Garden is very interesting. This game is not super complex. This would be a light to medium weight game, but the beauty that this game holds, it's somewhere along that line of art meets game. Tang Garden is a gorgeous game. When you have it on the table, there's something that just draws you in. You want to decorate this space. You want to create this garden in the best way possible. And Tang Garden is a game that really pops on the table. It is not only beautiful on the outside, but you're going to find that the components are high quality. They're gorgeous to look at. You've got miniatures with the game that you basically are trying to create this garden for this emperor as he's going to come. And as you build out this garden, you're going to get points, score points for different things. You're going to have characters that you recruit that you're going to be able to look at specific things or be on specific pathways to create points. This is just a beautiful game. I can't say anything else about it. Tang Garden is one that I love to just sit there and just play with my wife, whether it's 2 players or whether it's 4 players, which is a little more cutthroat, but the map is a little larger. This one's a really solid one. So if you haven't already checked out Tang Garden, this one fulfilled in 2020. This was a Kickstarter project and is currently being published by Lucky Duck Games and Thundergriff Games. You owe it to yourself to at least get this one to the table. Don't play it digitally. I played this game multiple times in person before playing it digitally, and you lose some of that beautiful artwork. You lose that texture of the board being in front of you when you're playing online. I would definitely pick this one up, or get a friend to pick it up, split it. This is a excellent game, and my number 8 game for 2020.
Number 7.
Coming in at number 7 was a total surprise for us, kind of like some of the other ones that we just mentioned. But number 7 is Prisma Arena from Hub Games. This game is so cool. Prisma Arena, you're basically this warrior who is training, and you are entering the arena to try to level up and become the best warrior you can. You have these Mokon, these little guys right here. These are Mokon, and they fight alongside you. Each of them embody a specific emotion or feeling. This game is so cool because while it is for ages 10 plus, and I agree with that totally, there are some cool conversations that can happen with kids around this game, whether it's talk about emotions or how they feel during the course of a day. And also, the other cool thing about this game is that in some ways, it's a legacy game. Your fighter that you're going to fight with, the one that you enter the arena with, you're going to level that fighter up. And with time, you're going to get new outfits. You're going to be able to change their facial expressions as they go into the arena each time. You're going to get a locker that you're going to be able to store your previous level clothing with. This is so cool. It almost reminds me of like color forms. When I was growing up, you would have the color forms, which are these little stickers that would go on and off of a piece of board to decorate, and Prisma Arena does that so well. This is a really fun game, and whether you have kids or not, Prisma Arena is one that you definitely need to check out. I think that this is one of those games that people aren't going to check out because they may see the front of the box and they might think, you know what, this is a kid's game, this is Pokemon, something like that. Absolutely not. Prisma Arena is a game that my wife and I love to sit down and play 2 players. It feels almost like a chess match as you go into that arena and you're trying to just get the right angle on your opponent, and you blast and you grapple with your opponent and try to make sure that you take them out. No one's getting killed in this game. You're actually bouncing characters from the arena, which is a really cool thing, so you don't have death and destruction, and it's going to be something that you can get your kids to interact with. This one's great. Prisma Arena from Hub Games is our number 7 game of 2020.
Number 6.
Coming in at number 6 is Fort from Leader Games. Fort has gotten a lot of attention. The artwork is gorgeous. Fort is all about you and your friends, the kids on the block, hanging out and building forts, eating pizza and playing with toys. This is such a charming game. It's a deck builder that honestly doesn't feel like a deck builder. There are some twists and turns in this game where players are going to have to discard the unused kids into their yard, and other players are going to be able to recruit the kids out of your yard when they're put down during their turn. So while it is a deck builder and it's going to be a formula that many people understand, there are some twists to the formula that I love. Fort is an excellent game, and the polish on this game, everything from the small wooden components, which are pizza and toys, which is the currency that you use in the game, to the character art, is fantastic. Leader Games did such a great job with Fort, and it's something that's so charming. You look at it and you initially see these kids and like all their quirks, and this kid with glue all over his face, and it's such a cute game. This is absolutely fantastic, and this is our number 6 game. Fort reminds me of being a kid, and if we needed anything in 2020, we needed to be reminded that, you know what, just have fun and do your best this year. And Fort has done that for us. So whether I'm playing with my kids or whether I'm playing this game with my wife on a Saturday morning, hanging out, drinking coffee, Fort is one that we have absolutely adored. This one is our number 6 game of 2020.
Number 5.
In at number 5, we're halfway through the list, people. We got down to number 5. We've got Rallyman GT from Holy Grail Games. First of all, I don't collect racing games. I don't care about racing. I don't even watch racing. I could care less about the theme. But for some reason, these racing games suck me in, whether it's Formula D or whether it's Downforce or even Pit Crew, a card game. Man, racing games, they suck me in. Rallyman GT did that this year for me in 2020. I played Rallyman GT with some of our writers on Board Game Arena. I was introduced to it by Bob, one of our writers, and Rick played with us, and we played with our friend Adrian, who helps us with some of the video content and things like that. Rallyman GT on BGA absolutely drew me in. It taught me the rules of this game, and then when I was able to get my hands on it in a physical form, I immediately purchased it. Rallyman GT has been an awesome addition to our collection. What I love about it is that you don't have preformed maps. You know, a lot of things like Downforce, you've got maps and map expansions that you're going to purchase and things like that. While we have all of those, I do like the fact that I can create my own maps with this. You've got hexagons that you're going to be laying out and creating your own maps. You can either go by the ones that, I think there's about 10 in here that you're going to be able to look at and see, you know, this is a medium map or a low map, an easy map or whatever. You're going to be able to create your own maps, and also there's an online community that you can look at on BGA, on Board Game Geek, and you're going to be able to check out some of the maps that others have created and put those together. What I love about this game is that it is a pressure luck game, but it's also dice allocation. You're just working your way through the crowd. It plays up to 6 players. There's a single player version of it, variant in it. Rallyman GT is an absolute win for anybody who, you don't even have to like racing games, because honestly, like, you don't have to be a fan of the racing theme. I couldn't care less about racing, and somehow like a quarter of my shelf is racing now. Rallyman GT, if you haven't played it already, play it on Board Game Arena. See if you dig it. See if it's something that you like. This is my number 5 game of 2020, and man, it's a good one.
Number 4.
With my number 4 pick of 2020, I am not cheating, and I'm going to continue to tell myself that I'm not cheating. Smartphone Inc. was re-released. This is a 2018 release that was re-released this year. Cosmodrome Games, Arcane Wonders. This fulfilled in 2020 after a 2019 Kickstarter project. Man, Smartphone Inc. It is in my top 10 games of all time. Some people may look at it and be like, you're pushing cubes around, but this game feels like you're actually running an industry. You are a mobile company. You're a company that is selling your mobile devices, and you are trying to produce product. You're trying to expand out across the world and get your product into different areas of the world. This game is fantastic, and it is a game that is just the right weight. I worry sometimes, as a person who does family gaming often and gaming with kids and adults, I worry a lot of times, is this game too heavy for me to actually play on a regular basis? And there are games like that. That's one of the reasons why I don't own games like The Gallerist. It's a game that I love so much, wish I owned it, but it never get played around here because it's too chunky, too meaty. Smartphone Inc. is just the right weight. This is a medium weight game. It leans on the heavier side, but once you get the mechanics of the game, once you get the mechanics of this puzzle that you're creating at the beginning of each round, Smartphone Inc. makes so much sense. This is a fantastic release, and I can't help but let you know about the version update 1.1, which was a 2020 release. This is the expansion to Smartphone Inc. This is actually what it does is the biggest part for me is that this makes it a 2 to 3 player game. It takes the board and it centralizes it around America and North America. So you've got Canada and the United States, and you're going to be able to play this with 2 to 3 players without feeling like you're losing anything because the board was made for that. So if you have not checked out the update 1.1, you need to check that out. If you have Smartphone Inc., you have made good decisions, and I applaud you. So good job. This was our number 4 game of 2020, and it's not cheating. It was released in 2020. Kind of. Mostly.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3 is Santa Monica from AEG. Love Santa Monica. This is a game that hit at just the right time for our family. Santa Monica was released, I think, in the summer of this year. It's a beautiful game. Josh Wood is the designer, and Josh Wood, you may know that name from Cat Lady, another AEG release. Cat Lady is a game that regularly comes to the table that I believe last year I bought the deluxe copy just because we had to have all those deluxe pieces. Santa Monica is a beautiful game. If you like the pastel and the pink and all the colors that remind you of the beach, you're going to find the illustrations in this game are phenomenal. It reminds me of a Where's Waldo type of situation where every little illustration in the game you can find something cool or fun or a little thing to just focus your attention on. You're ultimately building a boardwalk. Each player at the table, up to 4 players, you're going to be building your own boardwalk in Santa Monica, and you've got the boardwalk areas and the beachfront areas. You're going to be creating combinations, and you're going to be trying to score points based on the current criteria in the game. What I love is the variable setup. You can have a variable setup for what counts at the end of the game. You can also have variable setup for what the sand dollars, what you can buy with the sand dollars. So there are a couple different setups, and this game is ripe for an expansion. Santa Monica is such a great game. Within the first week of owning this game, within the first 2 weeks of owning this game, we played it at least 6 or 7 times. Santa Monica is a great 2-player game. It's a great 4-player game. It lasts a little longer at 4 players. If you have a person who's prone to AP that may struggle with some decision making, this may not be the best choice for them, but Santa Monica is an excellent choice for gamers who just want that chill vibe, build your own boardwalk, and have fun. Beautiful illustrations. Great job, Josh Wood. Great job, AEG. This is the number 3 pick of 2020.
Number 2.
All right, we're coming down to our top 2 in 2020. Number 2, Pan Am. If you haven't heard of Pan Am, you're living under a rock. Pan Am is an excellent game from Funko Games. Doesn't matter if it's called Pan Am or Metal Birds in the Sky or, Let's Acquire Airports or Airline Acquisition Game. It could be called whatever. This game is gorgeous. The level of polish that they put on the game, Funko Games has created something really unique here. Pan Am is essentially telling the story of Pan Am as they acquired all these airlines coming out of their heyday in the 60s. You are essentially building your own airlines and trying to position yourself in a way where Pan Am's going to come and acquire your airlines so that you can get more money and you can ultimately buy stock in Pan Am. The game takes place over 7 years. There are 7 phases in the game that each one there's going to be a stock increase or a stock decrease. The game is so much fun and it changes. Honestly, it changes at each player count. If you're playing at 2 players, it's this head-to-head battle, and it's probably going to be a tight game. At a 4-player game, man, you have to squeeze yourself in there to try to get the actions that you want. This is such a good game. Pan Am, I can't say enough about it. This is a game that I think that every gamer should introduce somebody to, because there's enough meat. This is not a gateway game necessarily, but this is a game that you can transition a person who knows Ticket to Ride, or somebody who knows Carcassonne, or somebody who has gamed a little bit, and introduce them to Pan Am, because it's a great weight and one of the best pickups in 2020. This was my number 2 game of 2020.
Number 1.
Coming in at number 1, I can't say enough about this game. I can't say enough about the system. Unmatched. Unmatched Cobble and Fog is the top tier of what Unmatched has. Unmatched is a fighting system that was developed by Rob Davio, and it's part of Restoration Games. Restoration Games came out with Unmatched in 2019. And Cobble and Fog came out this summer, or summer, September-ish, somewhere around there. Cobble and Fog is phenomenal. It is the best single set in the Unmatched universe. Restoration Games has a level of polish on all of their games that I absolutely admire, and Cobble and Fog is one of the coolest presentations, whether it's the boards that come with the game, the double-sided board that comes with the game, or the characters. You've got Dracula, you've got Jekyll and Hyde, Invisible Man, and Sherlock Holmes. Each of the fighters are unique. They feel different. You want to fight with all of them because they have such a different feel. Sherlock Holmes and Dracula are nothing alike, but at the end of the day, the whole system revolves around having a deck of cards for each of the characters that you're going to play through. And each of the cards, whether it's a scheme card or whether it's an attack card or a defense card, you're going to find something to like about these characters. I personally love playing as Jekyll and Hyde. I think there's a complexity there that you have to wrap your mind around as you change from Jekyll to Hyde, and Hyde has a penalty for moving. It is such a great system, and each of these fighters have such a unique feel. And I think that one of the reasons why Unmatched Cobble and Fog is my number 1 game of 2020 is because Restoration Games, in this calendar year, they have published not only Cobble and Fog, along with all the other games that Restoration Games has in their lineup that they're publishing and working on. Let's think about Dark Tower, a gigantic multi-year undertaking. Cobble and Fog is just one of multiple Unmatched games, Unmatched sets that they've put out this year. First of all, Cobble and Fog came out. We now see that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which we're working on a review currently, Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out at the end of November. You've got Red Riding Hood and Beowulf come out in December, another 2-pack set, and then earlier this year you had Jurassic Park come out. Unmatched is such an amazing system. If you haven't played Unmatched, give it a try. It's a deck of cards, it's a miniature and a sidekick, and you can jump right into a game. It is easy to teach. It's a game that you're going to be able to invite people into, show them the system, get a game under your belt, and they can study up on a fighter and say, oh, I understand how this works now. Unmatched is something that, this is our most played game of 2020. Unmatched is the reason why we started Friday Night Fight, which is our most popular video series on our YouTube channel. I can't say enough about it. Unmatched Cobble and Fog is my number 1 game of 2020. It absolutely deserves it. And if you haven't played Unmatched yet, you deserve to check this sucker out. Restoration Games, fantastic work on all of the Unmatched content that you've made this year. Everything that you've put out has something to love, and I can't wait for even more in the new year. Unmatched is our game of 2020. It is this year was the year of Unmatched. So that has been our top 10 games from one board family. We have had such a great year covering games on our website. If you haven't been over to oneboardfamily.com, head over there today. We've got reviews for a lot of these games, along with tons of others. We've got interviews. We've got 2 podcasts on our site. We would love for you to check out our content. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we would really appreciate it if you subscribed. We're grateful for your support. And if you want to support us in 2021, you can check out patreon.com/oneboardfamily. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.